Okay, I just got done the first round of degreasing, and here's why you want to continue replacing gloves often, because now that that exists, the chemical is now going to end up in my hand. And again, even though I degrease this once, I go under the rules to at least do it twice, because when you think it's clean, you should clean it some more. In fact, the instruction manual specifically says if you think it's clean, clean it 2 more times. That's if you're using like Dawn dish soap and you don't have that stuff. So at least 1 more time, and then I'm going to begin the rust removal. Going back to saying cleaning it a second time, first time I cleaned in the rib vents, and this is just under 3 of those on the second go. That is a lot of dirt and grime that was still left behind after 1 pass already. Okay, so after the degreasing a second time and getting those rib vents out nice and clean, I don't know if it shows up on camera well, but the color of the gun is significantly lighter or less blue, or maybe more blue, less black, just in the degreasing phase. It's still a little wet from having been cleaned, so obviously some of the scratches may show up a little better, maybe a little worse, I don't know. And again, I really can't see much unless I get real close where you can see the rust spots across this. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to do, oh, that reminds me, because of my little rag that I use to degrease. The really dark spots was before I add degreaser, just to clean the gas tube area to get some of the carbon out. And actually, no, the degreaser, yeah, I did add degreaser, because it's just degreaser, not the rust remover. The rust remover I'm not going to add, because I had to make sure I get it cleaned out. And obviously I can't use that rag anymore. Sorry. And don't know if it'll show up well, but you can actually see the bluing material or some of the water marks that are still in there. That whole thing had the carbon burn, and so I will say I probably didn't get a look at it in there before, but it is so much cleaner, which is a good thing. And again, hopefully when I'm done with all of this, this will be a back to looking beautiful Remington 1100 semi-automatic shotgun. Here's some of the things I used to clean those rib vents out before I went to the rag to just kind of like buff it in a sense with some cleaning solution. So if you're definitely holding one of the ribbed shotguns, make sure you take the time to clean them out, even if you're just cleaning the gun. Get them cleaned out, because there's, without a reason of a doubt, a lot of rust in there. Whereas this spot in general was several times through all of those things on 1 pass. And then where's some of the other spots? Right here. That is pretty much rust with just the degreasing solution. So there's probably going to be a significant difference when I put the degreaser in there. If I could stop this. For some reason it's not stopping. Steel wool and just a touch of the sandpaper to get some of the rust spots off, like this one here. I don't know if I can get it visible enough. I don't know if you can see that or not. And let's see. There's some pitting up along here. that I had to get, and is that even showing up? I don't know if you can see that. That was a level big rust spot. Even down here, wait a second. Just right there, a little bit to the left of the center. That was a heavy rust spot that I've had to sand back down. Now I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of like a wipe down, nice clean cloth, make sure everything's nice and pretty, and then take the glue and rust remover with some lovely Q-tips up there to just touch the spots. I'm gonna try and just get the important stuff cleaned up, so that way I don't have to strip it completely. I want to try that first to see if it still looks good and minimum work and minimum destruction of the original bluing is a thought. If that's obviously not a good idea, leave me a comment. I might have to do it again. And my gloves. Completed the rust removal process, and hope that comes in clear. These were some of the spots where I hit them. I hit the entire rib vent, because along that edge there, if I could get it in right, there was rust down it all, and obviously there's some scratches up here, so I hit it with some stuff, and it's like I never even cleaned it. So I don't know if that's going to work out in my favor. I might have to hit it with the steel wool to clean it off. I even got into, where is it at? This little spot here. There's a significant amount of rust there. And of course all up along here. Backside. There's some there I had to hit. Up in this area here. That big old spot. And there's still some trace of the original rust, but it's kind of fairly smooth. So I wasn't going to try and take any more. I figured a bluing would kind of help that. And then of course down in here. So again, take your time. Hit it several times to try and get it as best as possible. Is the only thing I can say, because I did do this bluing once on my 870, which I'm going to show you, which you should have seen at the beginning of this. So it wasn't perfect, but I learned some things. So I'm trying to here again to see if I could get it without stripping the whole thing. But if it's anything like the 870, it's going to be such a class and color and look that I might just strip it all just to get it nice and uniform. But we'll see if I learned anything. Okay, I have completed the bluing process on this gun, or at least just the barrel. I've still yet to do the receiver. So a lot of the scrape parts have gotten their blue back on. The writing actually got some of the rust out and just a nice blue. There's a few things, I don't know if it'll show up on here, but along the ridge vent, it's a little different. I just like it's more noticeable here. It's blued, but it's just an odd color compared to the blue, and it stands out. And that's obviously where I had a lot of rust to deal with. So I'm probably going to have to touch those up again in the future. And of course there's this color pattern. It's blued, it's protected from the rust that was there, but it's just showing something weird. Redid the outer of this, including its front, but I didn't do the inside. And there's like a little spot here. I don't know if it shows up well, but it's a little different. On this side, it's a little noticeable, but that's where I've knocked a lot of rust off, and there may be still some of the rust there before I treated it, but I did get as much of it as I possibly could off using Q-tips and so on to get it to not be rust, but it just has this odd coloration. So overall, I mean, there's some blemishes as far as the look of the blue, but it's solid blue now. So that'll hopefully continue to preserve the gun for many, many years. And if not, probably later on I'll go through the bluing again and hopefully end up with a better, more uniform look. And, like I said, just continue to make this a shotgun I can use, especially like my 870. I got the mag extension, so I do 8 shots. It's like 7 in the mag, 1 in the chamber, and I'm going to get one to get this for 10 shots, 9 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, for 3-gun competition. And of course, that really long barrel, some people say, oh, you need to cut it, but I got a full choke on there, so I tend to be a little bit more accurate with the longer the gun, except for pistols, but I'm only shooting 50 feet tops, like absolute tops, and not like 70 yards or something. So we'll see.